This week on the show, we watched a movie about a society that has its own laws. We watched Varsity Blues, and you're listening to Geeked Out.
Popcorn in our hands, ready for the show. From the classics to the blockbusters, we're always in the know. Throwing references like confetti, we keep it real. Geeked Out Podcast, we make you feel. We're the critics you can trust.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Geeked Out. My name is Kyle.
Juan here.
And as I said in the intro, we watched Varsity Blues for this episode, as continuing with our back to school month. This was my pick for the movie for...
Yeah, it was.
Now, I know that you and I have talked over the years many times about this movie. You said you had never seen it, is that correct?
Yeah, I am never seen this movie before. I might have seen a clip at some point, but I don't think so. So I came in this movie completely blind, really.
Okay.
Except for knowing the people that are in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny, the people in this movie, it's like a who's who of actors that you knew, like people knew back then, but also ones who have gone on to had massive careers and just be extremely recognizable faces in the world of film.
Yeah, definitely. There are some staples of '90s actors, definitely. Some, yeah, they catapulted to superstardom in the movies, but some of them, they carved a good chunk of their own little corner there in the TV space, especially around that time. They're at the peak of their fame there. But yeah, like a who's who of a lot of '90s and early 2000 actors for sure.
Now, before I get into the particulars of the film and before we start talking about it, I will say, obviously, I picked this movie. I have an extreme affinity for this film, regardless of how cringy certain things may be or how out of date it is.
A little bit.
I first watched this movie, I was probably 13 or 14, and I loved football before I watched this movie, but when I first saw this is what really made me want to, like, play high school football when I got there. Now, granted, I didn't end up playing until my junior year, but a lot of what goes on in this movie, and as stupid and juvenile as that may seem, I watched it and I was almost like, not hero worship, but more or less just kind of like, this is so cool, like you literally get to be the kings or the gods of the school type thing. Now,
Well, the town, really.
well, yeah.
The
Now,
entire town, they were.
I will say when I was in high school, guys who played on our football team, I'm not going to say we were heroes or anything like that, but there was an upper echelon that we kind of occupied as certain athletic teams within our school. If you played on those teams, you had a bit of a higher level of social standing, but
Yeah,
nowhere near
absolutely.
what this movie is. I mean,
No, because it's like the town is very small, and you could tell like that football team is everything to the town.
it's true what they say. Like, if you look at high school football in the South, especially in Texas, it is like a religion. Like, they have high school football teams down there who play in stadiums that are bigger than
Hmm.
Canadian universities
Yeah,
have for their
I
football teams.
I have family in the States, and I went to it was years ago. I went to one of my cousin's football games, and he was in high school, and yeah, like his high school was legitimate better than our university.
Well, I will say, so when I played, so for anybody who doesn't know, we're from a border city that borders Michigan, and when I was in high school, every year we would do like an exhibition game with a team in Michigan. The school is called Country Day. It's actually where Chris Webber went to high school, basketball player. And we went over there and played a game. Now, you come from our high school where our practice field was like playing on fucking concrete. Like, it wasn't the greatest field taken care of. We go over there, they've got full cement stands. The field wasn't even grass, it was like turf. Like, it was a whole different level of competitiveness.
Oh yeah.
And then that's in Michigan. You go down south to Texas, it's almost like little university stadiums that these high school kids are playing in.
Yeah, especially if like the team has like a lineage of being state champions. Again, that takes you even higher on the the totem pole of just importance. You know,
Yeah.
which this the team in this movie has many championships.
No, they've only got, we'll get into that. They only got two, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Oh, for real? I
Yeah,
thought I seen all them banners. Oh, okay, okay.
I'll explain because that's actually one of my points of contention in this movie. But before we get too far off with that, I will reiterate. So, as I said, we watched Varsity Blues. This movie was originally released January 15th, 1999, with a budget of $16 million, and it made a global wide box office of just over $54 million.
Mm.
It currently sits at 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb, with a critics score on Rotten Tomatoes of 45%
Damn.
and an audience score of 76. It was directed
Okay.
by Brian Robbins. It stars James Vanderbeek, Paul Walker,
Yeah.
John Voight, Scott Kahn, Ron Lester, Amy Smart, and introducing in her first feature film, Ali Larder. The plot of the movie is a backup quarterback is chosen to lead a Texas high school football team to victory after the star quarterback is injured. That's a very broad. That's just the basic bones of the storyline. There's a lot more to it than that.
Very broad brush. And
And this movie opens up like it opens up right away. You see shots of this little teeny tiny small town in Texas, and then you get a voiceover of James Vanderbeek with one of the worst Texas accents.
one of the worst. I think that's one of the first notes I put. I was like, accents are awful, just with the young cast. But we can
a,
dive deeper into that later.
a
But
couple
yeah.
of them, a couple of the younger, a couple of the younger cast I didn't find were terrible, but for the most part they were not good.
No, some were okay, some were passable, but some were just god awful. And yeah, John Mox, his accent was
I mean,
probably one of the worst.
it really comes out later when he gives his famous speech to his dad that if you haven't seen this movie, you at least probably know this line. But like in the opening, when he's talking about in Texas, in Texas, there's his own society that has its own laws. I'm like, you are hitting that drawl hard.
Right?
And nothing against James
Pull back a little
Vanderbeek.
bit.
I like James Vanderbeek. I am unabashedly, I will say, I watched a lot of Dawson's Creek when it
Yeah,
was
same.
on.
I did, yeah.
I've always thought he was enjoyable on screen. I just found this was a weird choice because I believe James Vanderbeek. I believe he was actually born in Connecticut. So
You don't say. You sure he wasn't born? Where's this? This is Texas?
this is West Canaan, Texas. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. No.
yeah. He's born in
That's
Connecticut.
not-
Like that. Like it. We are like it almost feels
Sorry,
like
Jim.
it almost feels like we're more southern than he is, and we live in Canada.
Man. We could at least attempt at doing a better accent
I mean, yeah.
than this man. It wouldn't be worse. I can tell you that. But
Yeah.
he tried. He was trying,
Oh,
but
I'm not saying he wasn't. It's just
it wasn't working. It would have probably uh, yeah. I did enjoy him being the lead in this movie. It's just he just didn't nail the accent, man. And that would be one of my main complaints about him and his role in this movie, really. Like he did a fine job. But you could tell with James Van Der Beek, he didn't excel into the Hollywood um starring in much other movies after this because you can just tell like he's a fine actor, but he just doesn't have that thing that makes a star, that screen presence. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. But I think he did, like I said, I did enjoy what he did in this movie,
well, it's
besides his accent.
it's kind of funny you say that where it's like you say that he never his career never took off to where it had the opportunity to go. Whereas in this movie, he's the backup quarterback to Lance Harbor, played by the late Paul Walker. And it's funny because in reality, it was the same kind of thing because Paul Walker is the one whose career skyrocketed just 2 years after this movie with the first Fast and Furious. So
Yeah,
it was
and
it's
you
almost
could tell
like
in this.
uh, Paul Walker was the first string quarterback in the movie, and he's the first string actor in terms of what their
Yeah,
careers went on to be.
for sure. And you could tell in this movie too, like that thing that James Van Der doesn't have. You could tell Paul Walker has it. He just has that presence, that screen presence, that charm. Maybe just because he's probably better looking. I don't know. It's just when he's on screen and he's
Your
doing
eyes
his
go to
thing,
him.
you just exactly. You're focused on him, right? And even though he was a goofy ass character at times and a little dumb at the beginning. And yeah, man, I just wish we had a little bit more of him in the movie before, he was kind of pushed aside there for a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that, like you say, he's the one who goes on to be the biggest star, and yet out of the main cast of the football players, he's the one that you probably see the least.
It's true.
Like throughout the whole movie as a whole, because he's missing from basically the whole middle part of this movie.
Yeah, like basically in the entire second act.
Yeah,
First act and third he's there, but yeah, that whole
yeah,
chunk in the middle he had gone.
he's referred to a lot, but
Yeah,
he's
in
he's
some
he's seen
awkward
basically
moments.
until he gets hurt, and then he doesn't come back again until the strip club scene, and then all of a sudden he's in the locker room, and then he's coaching the team at the end. Like,
That boy, that was random as fuck. I was like, wait a minute. I thought he was just filling in just because they needed somebody.
oh, we're gonna get to the coaching at
Oh
the
yeah,
end. Like,
please, because at the beginning of the movie, or at least the beginning-ish, the first act, uh, John Mox has shown that he pays attention to plays and he wants to put those because so like I thought he was gonna get that shine of being like almost like the coach. But yeah, we can talk about that when we
yeah,
get to it.
I mean, so the film basically, again, like I said, star quarterback gets hurt, backup comes in, and there's this whole dichotomy of what it's like to be a teenager in Texas, where whether you want it or not, and like Mock says in like part of his voiceover, you never, in the beginning of the movie, he's like, you never question the sanctity of football. You just listened to the coaches and did your best to win.
Oh yeah, and that's throughout Texas, man. You could tell that is a thing that they breathe, they live and breathe by. From Pee Wee to the big leagues, man.
Now they
These,
the funny thing is like they do paint a lot of these characters. I don't want to use the term hick or redneck, but they do portray them as kind of borderline uneducated or like uninterested at least in anything academic. And the
yeah,
way
they were in like hillbilly status,
no, but the funny
but
thing is they portray James Vanderbeek as like the smart one, and the way they tell you that is he hides a copy of Slaughterhouse 5 in his playbook
yeah,
because God forbid you pick up a book in Texas and you're not focusing on the field.
that's not about football.
Like,
And then, the coach catches them. It's like, what the fuck is this?
oh, he just throws it. He's like, get this shit out of here.
Are you trying to read other shit? I love John Voight's goddamn character in this movie, man.
But
He is unabashedly John Voight, and I
what
love it.
doesn't what frustrates me, and I don't know why it's because obviously you don't get any backstory of these characters before high school. You see a little clip of them playing Pee Wees, but why is Mox just the backup? I don't think it's because of talent, because literally in the first game he's sitting on the bench and the ball rolls over to his foot. He picks it up and he fucking hucks this thing from a seated position, probably like 40 yards into the gut of the official, and it
And he
hits him.
like
It hits him hard enough that he like
makes a sound, and he like
grunts.
grunts. I was like, God damn, right? And I thought they were gonna. I thought he, because this is my first time watching it. I thought they were really gonna lean into his football talent a little bit more than they did.
I mean, they do later in the movie, but it's more out of a necessity because he now has to be the quarterback. It's not like the movie circles around like a position battle between him and Lance, because they're supposed to be like best friends, and you can't have that any kind of animosity or competitiveness between the two of them, because then they both wouldn't be on even keel in terms of good guy bad guy status. Like, there is only one villain in this movie, and it is 100% John Voight, for good reason too.
He was a fucking maniac, and I loved it.
I mean, I played for coaches that would yell at us. I played for coaches that would coddle certain players. I've never experienced playing for a coach like that.
No, because I think it's an American football, and I think it's just a different level. It's something that you can't experience unless you do. Maybe the equivalent would be like hockey, but like with a team that is very, that is known for winning championships.
Yeah.
I don't know that, but I'm gonna assume that it would be the same level in a way. But even that's not even really that close of a comparison. It's just a different level when it's football in America. It's crazy.
Now, I do want to say, you had mentioned earlier about their state championships. The thing that has always irritated me,
I
not
thought they won like 10 in a
no,
row and shit.
so what it is they say, so John Voight's character's name is Bud Kilmer, and they say that Bud Kilmer has won 22 district championships and 2 state titles.
Um,
Which, now whenever I watch this movie, they say that, and I go, so in other words, you lost in the state playoffs 20 times.
and it was probably by that red team that we seen at the end,
Oh
with
yeah.
that final game, because that I love that team, by the way. We could talk about it later when we get there, but that team was awesome. They were fucking so disrespectful.
One thing I'll say is I really thought that the actual football play in this movie was really good.
Yeah, I mean, the standout is the final game that's when you really like you really get into the footballness of the movie.
Yeah.
But and you don't really get too much. You get it sprinkled throughout the movie, but it's not like a you don't get as hooked into it as you do at the end for me. But I did
No.
enjoy it. I did enjoy it, all the like the other games that they had in the movie.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But even like the practices, aside from
Yeah,
apparently the unemployed fathers who just drink and watch their teenage
man.
sons practice football, I'm like, don't you guys work?
I guess not. I did enjoy the fathers. I wish that the movie would have opened because you could tell all those fathers they played for the like that coach.
Yeah.
They all were former players. I wish they would have instead of doing like a flashback through like a camera or whatever, they would have put us in the scene, or at least a scene where we get like the young father's perspective, because I think uh, they weren't utilized as much in this movie, and I did enjoy their involvement in this.
Now, especially like the guy who plays Lance's father is an actor by the name of Richard Lineback. He's a character actor. You've seen him in, if you've seen him in one thing, you've probably seen him in 50 different things.
Yeah, I recognized at least two of the fathers in things. I just couldn't tell you where. They're just
Well,
in those
like for example, Richard
character
Lineback,
actors.
he's one of the cops in Speed. He's in
Oh, okay.
Natural Born Killers. He was in Twister. Like
Oh, okay.
he's
Okay.
been in
Okay.
a
Okay.
ton of different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy who played Mox's dad, I'll get his name here in just a minute.
I like that.
I didn't really recognize him. His name's Thomas Duffy, which he's been in a bunch of stuff. I just
Yeah.
didn't really.
I recognize his face and things. I couldn't tell you. You know, he's probably one of those guys that's always a side character. But I definitely recognized him,
Well, he was definitely a side character in this movie.
and I enjoyed it. And like again, all the fathers had natural-ish accents. At least they didn't stand out as being bad, in my
Yeah,
opinion. And I just enjoyed that. That whenever they showed the fathers, and because they were all so proud of their sons, but they were also wrapped into it because they were former players, and I
yeah,
just wish I had a little bit more of that in this movie too.
yeah. Now I want to do something right. I want to maybe discuss each character, what you thought of each character. And we'll start with Mox with James Vanderbeek. I mean, I know we already talked about him a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah.
what did you think of not only how he portrayed it, but just the character in general?
His character, as far as like a protagonist in a movie, I think he was good. He was like the only one of the only level-headed uh, character with common sense compared to the everyone around him. At least he was he was kind of like that anchor for all his friends, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I You definitely believed that he was friends with these characters, at least the his teammates. You definitely believed that they could have been friends when they were kids. Like they had really good chemistry, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I felt that he had a lot of chemistry, especially with the other main four or five, like Lance, Billy Bob, Tweeter, and Wendell. I felt like, I mean, they didn't show Wendell when they were kids, but I'm guessing like he's come up with them through high school. But there was very believable chemistry, and they did behave like a group of friends. What I always question when I watch this movie is, so you've got Billy Bob, who's the lineman, Tweeter, who's the receiver, and then you've got both Lance and Moxon are the quarterbacks. Well, there can only be one quarterback per team. So why wouldn't one of them have chosen a different position when they were kids? That way, at least you can always have the chance to be a starter.
It,
Like, are we
maybe
are, are we to view that Lance has always been the best and Mox has just rode the bench since he was like 8 years old?
perhaps. Do we know the positions the fathers
No, they
had
never talk
played?
about
Like
that.
that could be a thing where maybe his father was quarterback,
Yeah, that's
so
a
there wasn't
possibility.
really any decision on his part to claim a different role because they did have like a little competition there.
Oh, good God, the barbecue scene.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe through that dialogue, if I paid attention, maybe they gave clues on what they did, what the position was. But maybe it was even uh, like he was the backup. I don't know, man. But I just believe that the reason why he was a quarterback is because of his father.
Now, I will say a little trivia fact. I know that James Vanderbeek, which makes me love the guy even more, chose the number 4 for his jersey number in the movie.
Because 69 was taken.
No, because Brett Favre is his favorite player, and me as a Green Bay Packer fan, I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Brett Favre, number 4. Because he said that was his favorite player, so that's why he chose that number.
Okay.
I said, well, it's a good thing your favorite player wasn't Michael Irvin because you were playing quarterback and you couldn't wear 88.
No.
Now, the next one would be, and I don't really have a whole lot to say about him because he doesn't do a ton in this movie, but it would be Paul Walker as Lance Harbor.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have much to do, even though his presence is felt in the movie.
You know what's funny is you say that Paul Walker in this movie, you can tell that he has quote unquote it.
Especially with I mean, it's cheesy as hell, but the speech before he gets injured, that is fucking awful, but the ladies go crazy.
Oh, when he's at the podium. I was lying in bed last night and I drifted off to sleep and had a dream. That's another
It
bad
was
accent.
stupid. Yeah, his accent wasn't bad. But I don't know, it's just something about Paul Walker, man. You can't take your eyes off him. It could be a smile, it's probably something. Some
You know
you got
where
something.
I really noticed an it moment with him. There's no dialogue in this scene. It's before it's before one of the games. It's when Mox is walking by the trainer room and he's getting the injection in his knee, and the camera just shows Paul Walker's face, and he kind of side eyes to the door where James Vanderbeek is standing,
Oh,
and he's
the
got the
wide
hat
open door.
on backwards. Just that shot of the way he looks at the camera in that split second right there, it was like that man is a movie star.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But there's a couple things. There's a look towards the end where he's like being a coach.
Yeah,
Where again, like I saw that too.
I feel like that too is a progression and a maturity of his character, not so much him as an actor too.
hmm I mean, I wish we could have got a hint that that's what he was kind of into, like being a coach. But I guess he didn't even know.
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
I think the voiceover at the end kind of tells you that that's what he did, but
We'll talk about that voiceover.
it would have been nice to see a little
I
bit
got
more.
questions. I got questions about that.
Oh,
I got
there,
questions about that voiceover.
there's some questions, all right. So the
I
next,
got lots of questions.
so I'm gonna let you pick. Do we next? Would you like to discuss Billy Bob or Tweeter?
Let's save Billy Bob for last, because he had an important role in this movie, man.
I couldn't agree more. Okay,
Let's save the best for
so
last.
Scott Kahn as Tweeter.
Ugh,
There is so much wrong with this
one note.
character, and yet so much that, as horrible as it is, I still love because I'm a big fan of Scott Conn and everything that he's pretty much done since this movie.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of plays a degree of the same character, but I don't. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I enjoy his thing, his little shtick.
I mean,
And
he's going to be a fucking criminal, like
oh yeah,
he
is he not the same
portrays.
character from Gone in 60 Seconds, or
Oh yeah.
he not the same character?
Well, but no, not that kind of criminal. Like he's talking about drugging women.
Oh my God,
Like that
I
scene where
forgot
he's
about that.
like, "Yeah, you give him a Percocet, a couple of Vicodin, and or two a Percocet, two Vicodin, and a couple of beers, and the panties drop." And
I mean,
even in that scene, James Vanderbeek goes, "Tweeter, do you think you're going to enjoy prison?" I'm like, "Thank you. Someone call this guy out on his fucking nonsense."
right? But it's still played off like a joke, which is
It is, which is
ooh.
it's the time of '99 making those raunchy teen jokes, but
And it
looking at
kind
it,
of
it's
gives you
like,
a glimpse of like Hollywood, and you know, if they were
mm-hmm.
cool with saying that, you know what I'm saying?
Not only were they cool, but there's like a pause afterwards for a laugh.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, overall, I enjoyed his character as
yeah. He brought levity. He brought like humor, and
I
he was just
didn't
that chaotic character.
I didn't need to see his ass in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
No, we got some half naked women too, but it was a lot of his ass.
But you know what? If it would have been something organic,
Speaking of
like,
ass, oh my goodness, that scene, I gotta bring it up. I'm sorry. That scene with the washing machine or the dryer, whatever the fuck they were on.
oh,
Bruh, the movie is worth that scene, seeing it just for that scene alone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like her. Ali Carter is her name.
Ali Larder,
I
yeah.
had a crush on her since Heroes, because I think that was, besides, I didn't really look at her like that, Final Destination, because, she was like emo or whatever. But Heroes was the role that made me open her eyes and be like, oh man, she's a very beautiful woman.
As
If I
Jesse.
had seen this movie, in that scene, I probably would have seen that, put that scene on repeat.
For
But yeah,
me,
like I said, that scene definitely is did things to me
this
when I
this
seen it.
this movie, well, this is her first.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
we might as well talk about Darcy, played by Ali Larder. Then at this point,
Oh yeah,
this was Ali Larder's first role in a movie,
goodness gracious.
and her scene specifically, the one that she's always. I mean, I think it's to the point where she's always going to be remembered for it. Is the whipped cream bikini scene?
Yeah, I could see that. That was cool too,
Like that was.
but it was that washing machine for me, to be honest. But that whipped cream was really nice too. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, and what's I mean, not that it really matters, but a little fact about that is when they actually did that, the whipped cream wouldn't stay on her, so they had to use shaving cream for
No,
the movie.
it looked like shaving cream
Yeah,
because whipped cream wouldn't like
that is a
stay.
very
It wouldn't hold.
that's a very problematic scene. Like
Let me ask you a question. Who did it better?
her or Sean Wayans,
No, her
isn't that who
or
did it?
Chris Evans.
Oh, Chris Evans in Not Another Teen Movie. That's right,
I gotta give it to Chris.
dude. Dude. Rewatch Not Another Teen Movie, and when he literally walks out like that, you just look at the TV and go, "That's Captain America."
Oh, oh yeah. I didn't. Is that where they got that from?
Yeah,
It had to have.
yeah,
I didn't realize that.
yeah.
I
That's from
just realized
Varsity
that
Blues.
now. Boom, mind blown.
Well,
That's
and
crazy.
also we'll swing back to Darcy in a second. Now that you bring up Not Another Teen Movie, Ron Lester, who plays Billy Bob, is also in Not Another Teen Movie
Oh
as a parody
yeah,
of his character from this movie.
that's funny. I'm gonna watch another teen movie now. Which, yeah, Billy Bob, man. Um, I really liked him, man. And poor Billy Bob, just poor Billy Bob. He definitely did not live to see 50 years old. That motherfucker partied hard, bro.
Well, Ron Lester did. Ron Lester didn't either. Art, rest in peace. He passed away in 2016.
Oh shit, really?
Yep.
Damn, R.I.P. man.
Now, okay, Billy Bob. Now, this is going to be no surprise to anybody who knows me. I am a bigger guy. I've always been a bigger guy. When I played football, I was an offensive lineman, just like he is in this movie. Billy Bob is my favorite character. I
I could see
was
that.
I was fortunate enough to meet him.
Like the actor?
Yep. When I was in high school, we did a trip to Europe with the high school band and choir, and I was fortunate enough to meet him, get my picture taken with him on the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
He was just there?
Yeah, he was just on vacation with him and his
Oh
wife,
shit.
and we just happened to
Crazy.
run into him. Super cool guy, so laid back. He took like 25 minutes out of his time to just chit chat with all of us, kind of in a group. Um, no, he's and even when I've looked back at that picture over the years. I was 14 years old, I think. It was only
Damn.
so this movie came out in '99. This would have been the summer of '01. So just a couple years later, and even in the picture, he still has that same big wide smile that he has in this movie. That's just like that infectious.
Hmm. Like
Um,
Billy Bob smile.
yeah,
Billy
but
Bob.
no, I love him in this movie, and because of how much I love and identify with his character, it makes me despise John Voight as Kilmer even more. And it also
Yeah.
this was one of the first movies that I can think of, like football movies, that really brought to light the whole concussion thing, because clearly that's what happens. He on a
Yeah, yeah.
block he gets hit to the head, and clearly he gets a concussion. And
Yeah, 'cause he tried to tackle two dudes.
yeah, and then he ends up passing out in the next game right as the ball's about to be snapped, and that's what is ultimately what hurts Lance. I will say, loving football as much as I do, as I watch that scene, every time I see it, I get upset because he actually falls before they snap the ball. And I'm always going, no, the ref should have blown that play dead. That's a false start. The referees are responsible for Lance getting hurt, not Billy Bob.
Trying to justify it.
But no,
And let's talk about the injury. I just feel like when they pan to him in his leg, it didn't look that bad, to be honest. I thought his
no,
shit was gonna be like in half, bent the other way type shit. You know what I'm saying?
no. But what it
But I
is
don't
you
think it was a
can.
devastating, catastrophic injury.
Well, I think what it is I think they show that when he gets hit, his heel kind of hits first, and then his body, so it puts so much tension on those tendons and ligaments in his knee,
Yeah,
and then
and his knees are already bad.
well, and that's the thing. Then when you get to the hospital scene and the doctor's like, "I removed a ton of scar tissue. Like he shouldn't even have been playing." Well, clearly there's scar tissue because he's had issues, and instead of getting it taken care of properly and missing time on the football field, the coach is more interested in, I need to win a district championship as often as possible, so I can't lose my starter. We're just going to keep pumping you full of cortisone and pain meds and all this other stuff to just kind of put a band-aid on the problem instead of actually fixing it.
Yeah,
And it ends up ruining his entire, like, basically his life. He loses his shot. Like he had a full ride scholarship to play Division One college football at Florida State. That's down the drain.
But it seemed
Like
like everyone knew almost instantly that his shit was over. I guess. I don't know,
I
man. I
think
don't
it
know football
was.
injuries like that. I don't really understand it. Like I don't watch football that much to understand injuries.
I mean, you
It
can
just seemed like
tell
everyone kind of just knew right off the bat.
certain types of injuries, just the kind of way the the person's body language is, and the way the body language is of the people who tackle them, and the team, like the players around them, the ones that are kind of like they're not part of the play, but they're kind of observing. And
Okay.
also, I think that his screams would have just been deafening, especially once the crowd was kind of like shocked, like Lance went down, and all you're hearing is Paul Walker screaming, like yelling about my knee, my knee.
That's true. That's true.
And
And
again, it's
is it
just
normal? Sorry.
no, it's just another thing that they use to vilify Bud Kilmer, and it works like gangbusters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it only builds from there.
Yeah. Now, what were you gonna ask?
Is it normal to go right into surgery right after an injury? Like
It,
immediately into surgery?
probably if it's severe enough.
Okay.
Like I'm sure what they would have done is actually no, you know, now that I say that, I don't know because a lot of times guys will go like I'm talking professional athletes, but they'll go to like they get hurt and then it's usually like midweek. Like the game will be played on Sunday and usually by like Tuesday, Wednesday they're talking about they just had a surgery or it might not
Yeah, like at least
necessarily
a
be that day,
day or
but
two.
yeah, I don't know. I think just for dramatic effect, it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for the movie.
Which makes it's yeah. It's something I just noticed. I just wasn't sure if it was. It seemed like it wasn't a thing that actually happened.
No, no, I get
I,
that.
I guess it just depends
Um,
on the
I
injury, like you said.
I do want to circle back real quick to talking about Billy Bob for a minute
Yeah.
because one of my hallmark scenes of this movie that I've always thought of is the opening when he's picking everybody up in his truck.
Oh man, don't fuck man. I hate that goddamn scene, bro.
Why?
Are you serious? Who's
Is it because Wendell's in the back?
and who is in the front besides Billy Bob?
His pet pig named Bacon.
Okay, okay, and then what happens after,
Oh, he puts him in the back with Wendell.
bruh?
But yeah, but hold
No
on,
respect, no
Lance.
respect.
Yeah, but I've always looked at that because I think Wendell chooses to sit there because it shows him like reading his textbook where it's like
I
I have no
guess,
interest in talking right now. I just
I guess,
but what I
sure.
want but what I wanted to talk about is I really didn't like the one thing I didn't like the way they portrayed Billy Bob because I think this was just the typical fat guy comedy.
Yeah,
Now
they had it.
we've all rushed in the morning, and you might eat something for breakfast that you might not be necessarily proud of. They've got this motherfucker eating pancakes
Oh, forgot
dipped
about that.
in peanut butter, and then he
He
is drinking syrup.
he was drinking it. He was taking it to the head.
No one, I don't care. Like no one is eating that. And if they are, they're doing it in their own home with the curtains closed because they don't want anybody to see it.
All right, or like maybe you have to eat that because you're on the wrestling team and you need to gain as much weight as type shit. But there's only special circumstances to which you would
I mean, I will
eat those
say,
types of foods.
like, I remember watching the one time I watched the movie Super Troopers, and when they're chugging the syrup, I've literally taken a bottle of syrup and just put a little bit on my finger and just tasted it by itself, and I'm like, if I a tablespoon of that on its own, I think I'd be sick. And they've got this guy
Yeah,
taking like big swigs.
he's drinking it like he's drinking fucking Gatorade or something,
Oh,
water or
it's
something.
that scene, that's
killing it.
always bugged me the way they do that with him.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They definitely. I mean, it was the '90s, even though late '90s, whatever. But if you were a bigger character, they are definitely going to shove those things in
Oh,
your
100%.
face.
Now, okay, so I guess the next we'll bring up. I didn't read him in the main cast list because he's not. He didn't really do any more acting than this movie, and that's uh, Eliel Swinton, who played Wendell.
Really?
He wasn't an actor. He's a football player.
Mm,
He played college football at Stanford University, and he was signed to the Kansas City Chiefs as an undrafted free agent. So he literally was in the NFL,
that's weird.
but
Cause
his career
okay,
was short lived because of injuries.
yeah,
But you can, like, if you watch the movie, you can tell he just moves differently than the other guys because he is an actual football player, not an actor.
yeah. Which is probably why they didn't give him a whole lot of scenes.
But I mean, even the scenes that he was in, I didn't think he was bad. Granted,
He
he didn't have
didn't,
a ton to do.
and when he had, yeah, he understood the assignment, and he when he had to show emotion, he did, and I think he did a good job.
Like
I
I
think he
like,
would have had at least a decent career if he would have pursued it.
I like the scene where he's talking to Mox about how Kilmer's a racist redneck, and then he's talking about my mom's doing my recruiting because he can't get or he refuses to get any schools to come out and watch me. I thought he did really well in that scene.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. Which is, like he didn't want to pursue acting. He wanted to pursue his football career. Good for him. But after his injury, I'm surprised he didn't go back and try to act again.
Yeah, I was a little blown away by that. Now, I'm going to ask you when you were in high school. Like you said, you don't really watch football too much now. Did the school you went to, was it a big sports school, a big football school?
Not really.
Okay.
No, because when I was a junior, they only had a senior team, and then when I was a senior, they only had a junior team. So I kind of got screwed out of playing football.
Okay. No, well, no, what I was
But
going to ask is, did you get, whether it be football or not, I just kind of meant in general, did you ever experience a party like any of these in high school? Like to this
no,
level?
the only level was prom for obvious reasons.
Yeah, we had a
Prom.
prom and a graduation party, but even those were nothing like what you see in this movie.
No, but it comes as close as you could come to to one of those parties. Uh, no, not even kinda. It kind of felt like college. It kind of felt like college parties, to be honest.
A little
It
bit.
just had like a feel of that for me. Maybe because all the actors are in their 20s and they felt more like college kids. They looked more like it than high school kids.
Yeah, like even
But
if like even other high like movies where they're quote unquote in high school, like even like American Pie, they're having a party, but they're all just kind of standing around shooting the shit and having a beer. These guys are playing fucking quarters and they're dropping Boilermakers, and you've got Lance and Darcy having sex on a fucking dryer in the laundry room, and
yeah, yeah.
like all this crazy shit. I'm like, this is a wild party. And then you have the one later, oddly enough, on the same night Lance gets hurt, and Tweeter steals a fucking police car.
That shit was crazy.
Like,
This one I was like, this is one of the whitest movies I've ever seen in my life. After that scene, I was like, oh shit, this is crazy.
Well, and then it becomes even more problematic because that's the scene where he pulls up on Mox, who's apparently because
Where the fuck did those women come from, bro?
their other high
You
school,
just picked.
their other student. He literally says to him over the speaker, "You should." He says something about like you're going to be arrested for not being naked with a
Naked?
sophomore who
Wait a
wants to
minute.
bathe you with her tongue. And I went, hold on a second. You later say in this movie that you are 18 years old and you have girls who are like 15 in the car naked. There's a problem here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that they're doing it in a police car.
Well, it just seems like this whole town, because of the worshiping of the football team, they turn a blind eye. Mox, after playing, I think, the last minute and a half of a game, he goes in to buy a bottle of Coke, and the mini mart clerk gives him a free 6-pack of beer, and I'm like,
Hey, and then he leaves the Coke and he's like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna just drink this beer."
it's
That
like
was
it's
funny.
like the math ain't math in here, people.
No, yeah, definitely that entire town worships the team and is deadly afraid of that coach.
Oh, when the one cop is talking in the bar about,
Oh my
oh,
God.
this is what happened, and you just hear John Voight. Are my boys too much? Are my boys too much for you? Oh no, they're just being kids. Nothing to talk about.
Oh, he shut that up real quick, and you could tell they were nervous around it. Every time he threw around his authority, everyone got everyone got nervous, even the fathers.
Oh yeah, because he's. I mean, if you think the players are made out to be gods in this movie, just look at John Voight's character. I mean, these people worship the ground the man walks on, and they just seem to turn a blind eye to the abuse and the other things that he's putting their children through. And
Yeah.
and there's even so that scene, that barbecue scene. There's even a spot where Lance's father says, and this scene you also get as Lance's little brother. Your first
Oh
little
my
look at a little Jesse Plemons.
thought that was him. I was like, oh shit.
Lance's dad literally says that we're keeping him back a grade so that he'll be bigger for Frost tryouts for football. So they're making their son repeat the 8th grade so that by the time he gets to high school, he's just going to be bigger for the sake of playing football instead of, I don't know, valuing education.
Education. But the fuck is that?
I mean, there's a
Talking
whole
about football, bruh.
there's a whole subset story in this movie where Mox gets a full ride scholarship to Brown University, an academic full ride scholarship to Brown University, which is an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh, congratulations! What about the game tonight?" It's like, no, this man has just cemented his future and has zero bills to pay because of it, and you guys are worried about a high school district football championship.
Yes.
And that's why I love that when his dad's like, "Oh, we got to talk about Gilroy," and he just goes, "Why don't you just tell me who wins?" Like, I don't give a shit anymore. I've got my ticket out of here. I'm going to do what I want with my life.
Yeah, and it just shows you like, yeah, even like his own family can't see beyond past this goddamn high school football game.
Except for his brother, who's
Oh my
experimenting with
God,
religion.
this
No,
fucking kid, man. It's kind of funny.
it's weird.
It is, but it's weird and it's unnecessary
And it's a
and just
very,
random.
I don't really want to, I'm not going to get into it, but the actor's name is Joe Pitchler. Very unfortunate thing that happened to him. Simply, real quick, he has been, he's been missing
Oh shit.
for like 19 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he went missing.
Did he take his role too serious? And
I don't know, but he's been missing
Lame.
since 2006,
That
and
sucks.
so like I don't want to talk negatively about him, obviously, but
No, 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 no.
every time I watch, I'm like, why did you just have him be a supportive character? Because he is supportive to his brother. Like, oh, maybe you'll get to play if Lance gets hurt, or maybe this, or maybe I don't. It's
Yeah,
just
you didn't have
another.
to give him
It's just another
that.
gimmick for comedic purposes, which doesn't really need to be there.
No, at least if you make him heavily religious, you don't have to have him flip different religions every scene. Just have him stick to one or maybe one or two. But this motherfucker jumps to like five.
Well, because he does at the beginning, he's tied himself to a cross
That shit, that was the craziest opening ever.
at the bar.
That's like this movie is crazy.
At the
Why is this
barbecue,
kid crucified right now?
at the barbecue, he's I don't know what he's doing at the barbecue. He's in almost like a karate gi, and he's almost like meditating. Then you see him as a member of
He's a
um,
Muslim. He's
the
a Muslim,
Muslim Brotherhood or
black
whatever.
Muslims.
Then he starts his own cult, and his mother, when he's bringing these kids in, she goes, "Did you start a cult? That's so sweet." I'm like,
The mom is like just like the ultimate enabler. Just goes with whatever.
and I think that's just because of like, well, we're in Texas. I gotta support what like I have to agree with my husband that they've got to play football because we're in Texas. So I'm just gonna do that. And
Yeah.
but yeah, that stuff is wild.
That was quite a choice to put that in the movie. I tell you that. That was quite a choice. It didn't work for me.
Well, now I'm gonna get to this. We talked about most of the characters. I want to talk about Bud Kilmer in a little bit of detail here.
Mm.
This man is like the prick of all pricks when it comes to like coaching or like teachers, coaches, whatever. Like that whole bubble that you would put those types of characters in. Wow.
He's the worst sports coach in movie history.
In any movie I've seen, I can't think of one that's much worse.
I don't know. I don't want to say that and then
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty
like
sweeping
he's
statement,
definitely
but
top five.
that's a pretty sweeping statement. But I will say, he's probably the worst coach in terms of the way he treats his players that I've ever witnessed in a movie.
Yeah, that's pretty valid.
I mean, let's run down real quick. He calls the second string offense dummios. He treats his backups like we only really see Moxon, but he specifically treats like he literally calls him like shithead and all this stuff in the movie. Later, as soon as Lance gets hurt, oh, I'm behind you. You have my full confidence type thing. He just flips on a dime. And then by the time
Oh yeah.
you get to the end of the movie, he's telling Lance, or he's saying like, "Oh, Lance hopes we lose so that he can be the missing link and the reason that we lost." He wants to do the same thing and inject Wendell when he gets hurt. All he cares about is his wins. Billy Bob has a severe concussion, shouldn't be playing, and he says to him, "No, that nurse doesn't know what she's talking about. You're going to play every minute." And then when the concussion starts to hinder him, he pulls him into his office and he's like, "You're fat, you're slow, all of a sudden now you're lazy. I have no need for you behaving like that on this team." It's like,
And you got Lance. You were the one that got Lance
yeah,
injured.
it's
So
your
it's
fault.
like
It's your fault.
he ultimately putting all the blame on him.
Oh, he's a real fucking piece of work.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely, and yeah, he's pretty awful. Pretty awful.
I really don't think there's even one redeeming quality in his character.
The only redeeming thing is at the end when they say what happens to his character at the end, which I don't believe. I
That he
don't
never
believe that.
coached again.
I don't believe that ever. He just stopped. What'd he do? He almost choked the kid. That is the reason why you would never coach again.
Yeah, like he had no guilt, and then all of a sudden, oh, they called me out on it. Now
You know what? I'm
I
done
can't do it
forever.
anymore.
No, you didn't even. Not even Pee Wee.
No, he went to a different town. I guarantee you, he went to a different town in Texas, went off of what his name is, and got hired somewhere else.
Or he fully accepted that he's a villain. He grew his hair out into a ponytail, went to the jungle, and started hunting
Got
big
a
ass
bad
anacondas.
got a bad Paraguayan accent.
Yeah, and he started looking at Jennifer Lopez all weird, like,
Baby bird.
uh,
Well, that movie
uh,
came out before this, so that doesn't work.
oh no, damn. Never mind, man.
But yeah, he just. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he played the character phenomenally well.
Absolutely.
It just you're not supposed to like the character, and kudos to John Voight for making us really despise Bud Kilmer.
Yeah. And it is definitely a reflection of a lot of maybe not a bit of an exaggeration of a coach,
Yeah, it's a very
uh,
big exaggeration.
but I can probably guarantee you there's probably a few coaches, especially in Texas, that are close to it.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, so we've already said, so I played football in high school, you didn't. Did you ever have an experience in high school like they do?
What's wrong?
Finding out your teacher strips?
Bro, I wrote I wrote in my notes that the teacher looked like a porn star. 'Cause I didn't know. It was my first time watching it. And it makes sense that she's a stripper because to me she looked like a stripper when she was a teacher. There
What
was something about her that was like, no, there's something going on there.
what makes no sense to me is you're a teacher at the local high school.
There's no way.
You are also a stripper, even if you do it like one town over, and
Everyone's gonna know.
then you come out dressed as a teacher and
That's your shtick. That's
dance to Van Halen's "Hot for Teacher." No way, no way.
the music choices in this movie are hilarious.
I love the
That
music
is
in this
one.
movie.
One of my other favorite ones is when Mox is about to cheat,
Oh
and I
yeah,
think he walks like the moment he walks into uh,
Darcy's house.
Darcy. Yeah, there's a Destiny Child or Beyonce song
Hmm.
playing, and I forget the lyrics, but it was something along the lines of if if no, it's if your girlfriend only knew.
Yeah,
That was the lyric. It wasn't Beyonce. It was somebody else. But that was the lyric. It's like that is ironic as shit.
but talking about the movie, I love the music in this movie. I love that it opens with Green Day's "Nice Guys Finish Last."
Yeah, soundtrack was pretty solid.
I love the Thunderstruck montage, the game after they go to the strip club when they're all hungover.
I just didn't like one of the songs at the end only because it's one of those because of over the years it's been turned into like that cliche song that you
Was
just
that
put in.
My Hero by the Foo Fighters?
Exactly. It's been parodied and things, so it's like when at that time it probably wasn't,
No, it
but
wasn't. But now, I mean, I
you
love it. I
you
love it
can't
in
you can't
I love it in this movie.
can't
But
take it
every
away.
time, even if it's on the radio, if I hear "My Hero" by the Foo Fighters, I always just kind of say to myself, "Aim for the bushes."
Yeah, that's probably why. For the goddamn other guys, that's probably why I can't take that song serious, or I
But
associate it with
it works in this
parody.
movie, especially because as they move towards the end of the final game, you've got Amy Smart, who plays Jules, Mox's
I like it.
girlfriend,
I like
talking
it.
about heroes and being remembered and things like this, and it just kind of fits that the song is called "My Hero."
Yeah, yeah, it's
And he
definitely layers there. But yeah.
and it's another really good thing in the movie because obviously, okay, we go into the last game. Kilmer
Oh
gives
my
him
God,
Kilmer gives
I love that
him
last game.
the speech of like, go play the game, this and that, whatever. Wendell gets hurt. Starting running back gets hurt. That's a big demoralizing.
Oh man,
He
that
he goes in and Kilmer even says to the trainer because he's like I think he tore something and he just says make him understand. Which if you tear something, I don't know what
what are
you're
you gonna inject him
injecting.
with?
I don't know what you're injecting into this kid's knee that's going to make him be able to cut and play competitive football at even 17, 18 years old. But apparently they have something.
Have some type of serum.
And it just devolves into this is probably one of my like leading this whole end of the movie from the point when they're in the locker room when James Vanderbeek is like he's telling him not to do it and he says, "Are you willing to risk your scholarship?" And he goes, "If it keeps that needle out of his leg, absolutely." From that moment to the end of the movie, I am just like raring to go, just like balls to the wall. This is what you've built up this movie to be, and the whole team being like, whole team. We only get to see 5 players, and they all play on offense. Coincidentally,
I mean, you get to see the rest of the team, all those extras in the background
yeah. They,
that don't talk at all.
well, and it's funny because even the play at the end of the game when they have to block a punt. Oh no, we haven't met any of the defensive players yet, so we're going to put an offensive guy in there to block the punt because we don't know anybody else's name.
Oh yeah, that there's nobody on the defensive side that got any shine.
But
Can we
after
please talk about this red team? I don't. They were this. This is
Gilroy,
the part. Oh my God, they were so fucking disrespectful. The one guy, when he goes into the touchdown, he like taunts the other guy by like trying acting like he's giving the ball. Then he like does a flip, and then he starts breakdancing.
well and then
Oh,
they show the whole
bro.
team like dancing on the sideline.
Bro, that shit was so funny. They were mocking the shit out of him, and like I was really into the football at the end of this at the movie. Man, I don't know what it was.
You know, you
They
know what
captured it beautifully.
you know what I think it was. I think that if you want to have a scene in a sports movie where you want the viewer to really care about the game they're seeing, give a good motivational pregame speech.
That was a
Because
pretty good one.
that speech that James Vanderbeek gives,
It was pretty good.
I love that speech.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty good speech.
But yeah, so I mean, they end up going out. What I've always found funny is the beginning of the movie. You've got the head coach. You see other guys with headsets on. You've got a trainer. You've got all these other things. They come out for the second half of this game, and you've got Lance. Where are the other coaches?
Right? What happened?
Like Kilmer wasn't doing this by himself. He had a staff. Where did everybody go?
And yeah, even at the high school level, you don't have just a main one coach.
No, I think we had like
Like
7
special
coaches.
teams coach and
You've got
defensive coach,
you've got an
offensive.
offensive coach, defensive. Then you've got a lineman coach, a linebacker coach, wide receivers coaches,
What a-
special teams. Like
You know what?
they all went with
didn't
him.
exist, I guess, and they were never present. And I don't really think I've seen them on like just on the sidelines during a game.
No, but I mean, yeah, the final game they play,
Man,
I think is really good.
did you see that one fucking hit? You had to seen it, where the guy came in like a fucking torpedo. He came in like a torpedo. and hit that guy. That shit was
Oh, I
crazy.
know.
It's like, oh my, that guy's hurt. And that was like one of the most beautiful hits I've ever seen in my life. He literally came in like a goddamn torpedo. It was crazy.
It's movies like this when you see like the action from like like the camera's obviously right there that makes me like really miss playing the game. I mean, at my with the physical shape that I'm in at my age, I'd probably die, but it does make me miss playing the game, and it
Yeah.
just yeah, it just adds to it, and of course, it also helps when you've got characters that you can really rally behind. Like you really want to see these guys win, especially in spite of now they're doing it on their own without the coach. Lance has now found his calling as a football coach. He calls the hook and ladder play, which I love. Billy Bob constantly is referring to. That's not that play where I trot downfield and act like I'm lost, is it?
Yeah, yeah, he said it. I'm glad it paid off because I definitely were talking about stuff in the movie,
With fucking three guys on his back
right?
is
It's like
what
some
takes him
goddamn,
down.
it's like a scene out of The Replacements.
So yeah, that they obviously they win. Now you said earlier you wanted to talk about the voiceover. Now I've seen this movie so many
Oh
times. I probably have almost the entire voiceover memorized.
my goodness!
But which
All right,
which part did you want to talk about?
mainly just the fact that John Voight's character stopped completely
See,
coaching
I
football. I
haven't.
just do not believe that. I don't believe that. That is not. That would never happen in a million years.
See, I have a different question than that one. I agree with you on that part though, but I just find it funny that it's like because they do the same thing like they do in a lot of movies where they'll put the text up on the screen,
Yeah,
but this is just. And it's not so much what they did afterwards. It's just like, oh, Tweeter drank beer because he drinks beer, and Billy Bob cried because he's a crier, and the only one is like Lance found his calling as a football coach. But the thing that's always, oh, and Wendell gets his ride to Grambling, so apparently his knee injury wasn't that catastrophic.
yeah,
But the thing that's always confused me is James Vanderbeek goes, I never played football again. Well,
yeah.
that game was for the district championship, and you guys won. So the following week, you would be playing in the state championship playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys just forfeit? Because if you did, I think every one of you would be run out of that town.
Oh yeah. They'd all get their ass beat for sure. Maybe he just thought that was the state championship. Maybe he's got some seat.
Well, the only way that it would make sense is if you were to talk to the screenwriter, and he was like, "What I meant was, after the end of that season, I didn't play." Whereas the movie makes it sound like it's the end of that game.
Yeah, like he stopped playing that night after that night.
Yeah,
Done.
but then he says he took his scholarship and he'll graduate from Brown University, even though earlier in the movie Kilmer is threatening to literally fuck with his grades and transcripts and get his scholarship pulled, which I'm not sure he can do, but I really don't know for sure.
Depends on what he says, I guess. I don't know. He's got enough power. Maybe he could influence it, or at least
It's possible,
I don't know.
but that's Varsity Blues, and unless you've got anything you want to add, I think I'm good to move into final thoughts. I mean, I do have a few little trivia tidbits if you wanted to hear them.
Yeah, go for it.
The fact that Paul Walker actually broke his leg during filming, which it doesn't say anything more than that, but that might be, I don't know if maybe they had to change the script because of that, which is maybe why he's out of the movie. I really don't
Yeah, or
know.
maybe he had a bigger role despite that his leg was broken.
Yeah, I don't
He was
know.
still going to be involved in the movie, but hmm.
Also, the two guys who were the radio announcers,
Yeah,
those guys
I was
aren't
okay.
actors.
I could tell. You could tell. You could tell they were like they
Which,
just weren't
yeah, they're actual
commentary.
high school commentators in Texas, which I
That
actually
makes
thought
sense.
was really a really smart idea because it brought a real feel of authenticity to the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, there was somebody else who was originally considered for the role of Mox,
Hmm.
and he's a pretty good friend. I would think he would be a pretty good friend to James Vanderbeek.
Oh, is the other dude? Is he the other dude
Which other dude?
from Dawson's Creek?
Joshua Jackson.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be
Mighty Ducks.
wouldn't I would say wouldn't that be funny if in the early '90s he was the Mighty Ducks, and then he played a high school quarterback at the end of the '90s?
That'd be trippy for sure. That'd definitely be trippy. Would he? He would nail the accent better, but I don't think he would have did a better job,
Portraying like a football player.
or just the role of Mox in
Yeah.
general.
Now the last thing I will say is this references another movie that we've done on this podcast. In the movie Mean Girls, it is mentioned that Varsity Blues is Regina George's favorite movie.
I could see that. I could see that a girls liking this movie.
But yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah, my notes are pretty much done.
Okay. Well, we'll move into final thoughts then. And as I suggest this movie, I'll go first. I mean, yeah, there's a few things you can nitpick about this movie. Overall, I love this movie. I will always love this movie. It will always have a special place in my heart, despite all of as I said, the cringe things that go on in it. You just have to, unfortunately, with a lot of these movies, you just have to kind of keep telling yourself it's just a product of the times that it was made. Obviously, if this was made now, it would be very different. But that being said, overall, I enjoy the storyline. I love sports movies. I love the sport of football. I like all of these actors. All of the characters they play are very believable. Being somebody who did play like high school football and that, I've known people that have embodied pretty much every version of these players, these characters. Um, yeah, it's a fun movie to just turn your mind off, have a few laughs, get kind of fired up, and watch some football. Nostalgically, my own personal ranking would be a 10, but obviously I'm not doing that.
Damn.
That's just for my own nostalgic love of the movie. But overall, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. And I would recommend this to, I mean, I'd say to everybody just in general. But that would be my answer, and I would definitely highly recommend this movie.
Yeah, no, I agree for the most part. I enjoyed I enjoyed myself with this movie. It's my first time watching it. Would I rewatch it? Yeah, I could see myself rewatching this. Yeah, it definitely is a movie not without flaws. uh, and but definitely the good completely outweighs the bad. And the performances were pretty good. Uh, Definitely it had a authentic feel, um, especially when they hit the tougher subjects. I definitely feel like they hit the emotion when they when it presented itself. Chemistry between the cast was great. Um, I enjoyed the moments of football that this movie had. It was really, really good. Um, this movie is definitely, I would say, it's definitely a fun watch, and I would recommend it if you have not seen this movie and you're into, sports movies and you would want to watch something that had some pretty good drama in it. Um, I would give this movie, I'd say seven, 7 out of 10.
Okay. And one last thing I want to say is, if you ever get into an argument with your father, just make sure you let him know that I don't want your life.
Oh my God,
And that accent was just as bad as James Van Der Beek's.
sounds just like him.
But that's going to bring us to an end on this episode. For our next episode, we will be closing out our back to school month, and Juan,
Oh man,
you get the honor of making
oh
that pick
man,
before we move
I wish I would have
into.
known.
Well, I mean, because after that, we're going to move into our spooky season before Halloween.
Ooh, okay, okay. I might pivot, and I could do a one that fits both.
Okay. All right. What have you got in store for us?
I had a movie in mind, but I think I'm gonna completely pivot.
Well, hold on.
Since we're
What was your original movie you were going to suggest?
okay, my original one was gonna be Chronicle.
I don't know that movie, but go on.
Really?
Chronicle?
Yeah. With Michael B. Jordan and
No, I don't know that one. I haven't seen it.
uh, Dahan,
I
Dane
just,
DeHaan.
I'm just looking it up now.
You never seen that movie?
Now that I'm looking at some of the pictures, it looks vaguely familiar. Maybe I just didn't recognize the name.
You can still do that.
Well, it's up. I mean, it's your pick. We can do that, or we can do the one that you said might fit both. It's completely your call.
All right. Let's do Chronicle,
Okay.
and then we can move. We could do Spooky Season next.
Okay. That works for me.
Since you haven't seen Chronicle,
Yeah, that works for me.
it works. It's a really good movie. You're gonna enjoy it.
I'm looking forward to it. It sounds intriguing from what I just read real quick.
It's definitely it's just like a superhero movie, and it was during a time when it the superhero boom was just happening, or it was just before that big boom. So this movie didn't get as much appreciation as it should have.
Okay. No, I'm looking forward to it. So that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. And as you just heard, join us for our next episode where we will be watching Chronicle. And as always, I would like to thank everybody your for following us, for subscribing, for continuing to listen to the podcast. We really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. And also, I would also ask everybody to continue to follow us on our socials. Reach out to us if there's anything you want to hear us discuss, or if you have any ideas for what we should do moving forward as well. Give us a shout out and let us know. And as always, I will be posting the socials in the show notes for any of you who want to get in touch with us. And that being said, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Take it easy.
Peace.